this business, we'll bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gotta blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Buenos dias, welcome into Morning Footy, 48 Nations, presented by Taco Bell. I'm Claudia Pagano alongside Aaron West. Quiz.
Mel Wiggins.
I started doing
All right, let's start over. Should we just run the titles again?
We started
run the titles
Let me
again.
sit back down. Buenos dias, welcome into Morning.
Chris, go do the hosting. Chris.
Welcome into Morning Footy, presented by Taco Bell, alongside Claudia Pagan and Aaron West and Marco Messina. I'm Chris Whitting. Welcome to the program. What do we have on today's program? We're talking about groups A, B, and C, which of course came to a conclusion yesterday with Brazil in action, Scotland in action. We saw incredible goals between Morocco and Haiti as well. All right, what do we got? No, let's do around the grounds. All right, I don't even know what's on around the grounds.
Let me just put my feet up.
Let's go to the board. All right, here we go. Brazil. Vinícius Júnior gets a brace in a fantastic performance in Miami, which could see Scotland out of the tournament, with them reeling with their poor goal differential. South Africa stuns South Korea. They make it to the knockout rounds for the first time. It was a brilliant goal and a truly shambolic performance from South Korea, I must say. Bosnia-Herzegovina getting it done against Qatar. They're through, likely to face the U.S. men's national team. There's only one combination of third-place finishers, which could see the U.S. not play Bosnia. And then, of course, Canada losing at home against Switzerland, which means they'll go to Los Angeles for the round of 32 rather than staying in Vancouver.
Should I just go out? I'm definitely not needed for today.
He didn't even prepare this round for that.
He didn't stutter once.
99 in every
This man is
attribute.
AI.
And I can't even get the full name.
Every attribute.
All right, I'll take over. Let's see how I do.
Finally.
Whitty, you might have to take over again later. Here's a look at the Group C standings. Brazil, they did clinch that top spot along with Morocco, so they automatically advance onto the round of 32. Scotland still impatiently waiting to see if they'll make it as one of the best 8 place, the top 3.
One of the 8 best third-place finishers.
I can't talk today. I can't talk today. But
Your job requires you to talk.
Isn't it bad? Now, Vinny
Only an hour and 58 minutes to go.
We're rolling through. Listen, I might not have my best performance right now, but Vinny Jr. has definitely been having his best performance in the World Cup so far. 4 goals and an assist for him through those 3 group stage matches. Because I feel like Vinny Jr. obviously being one of the top players coming into this World Cup, but I feel like because everybody has really been on their game, Marco, I feel like maybe Vinny his performances have maybe been going under the radar a little bit.
He was a man of the match in every single one of Brazil's games. Just to think about how crazy that is. Only Messi has more goals than him so far at the World Cup. And there were 2 names that I circled coming into this World Cup that I think they had a big chip on their shoulder. Kylian Mbappé and Vinny Jr. Because of the seasons that they have, because of the narratives, because of all the talk of Real Madrid. And Vinny has proven that this is his team. There's still a lot for Brazil to do in this World Cup, but so far what I've seen from him is exactly what I expected when Carlo Ancelotti came in. He knows exactly which strings to pull to get the best out of Vinny Jr. I love that he's the center point as well. Even Neymar after the game. Of course, a lot of storyline is Neymar coming in. He said, no, this is Vinny's team. He is the superstar. He's who we're all fighting for. That is what we want. Because for me, everything that Vinny's been through, yeah, he's had his downs, but he still should have deserved the Ballon d'Or, in my opinion, a few years ago. But he can change a game on a dime. He's still capable of that. So I love seeing the best of Vinny Jr. in this World Cup.
Yeah, this is exactly what Brazil wanted when they hired Carlo Ancelotti, to get the best out of their stars, to give Brazil a tactical framework that allowed them to show their creativity. Let's be solid in the back, and then in the final third, let's show the ginga, the joy. You see a smile on Vinny Jr.'s face, and when Vinny Jr. is either really pissed off or really happy, that's when you get the best out of him, and we're seeing the really, really happy Vinny Jr. And the supporting cast for Brazil has been fantastic. Ryan coming in. Bruno Guimaraes was fantastic. As a unit, Brazil have been performing. And when Vini Jr., I feel, doesn't have that all pressure to do everything himself, he's been really, really good and comfortable.
Yeah, and it's not like they've spent that many games under Carlo Ancelotti. When you take a look at Vini's performance before Carlo Ancelotti came and after, before, in 39 appearances, he had just 6 goals and 5 assists. In just 13 appearances now under Carlo Ancelotti, 7 goals already and 4 assists. Winnie, what is Ancelotti doing to truly get the best out of Vini Jr.?
I think the number one thing for him to have done with Vini is to kind of release him of that pressure a bit, because we show those figures. There was only 9 international goals in 48 appearances coming into this World Cup for Vini Jr. You mentioned, why is he going under the radar? He's going under the radar because we had almost written him off as a player to really focus on at this World Cup. He had never performed in the yellow shirt of Brazil. We hyped him into 2022. We hyped him into 2024 at the Copa America, and he just didn't show up. And so I think we had sort of failed to consider him as a player who can perform at this level because he hadn't really done it for Brazil specifically. What Ancelotti has done is what he has always done, is put players in good positions. I think the number one thing for them, from an actual tactical standpoint, is that normally Brazil go into every game thinking that they should dominate possession. They should dominate the ball. They should dominate the game. Even against Scotland, who aren't a very good team with the ball, it was still Scotland who had a majority of the possession in the early parts of the first half. And what does that do? It releases Vinícius Júnior into space. And that is the number one area in which he thrives. He thrives in counter-attacking situations. He thrives with space to run into, attacking a fullback one-on-one, and getting the better of them because there simply is no stopping him in open space in a one-on-one situation. So I think for Carlo, the number one thing is to get him into the spaces that he thrives in the most, and no manager would know that better than Ancelotti, considering how well Vini played for him at Real Madrid.
And Ancelotti, all he did is, this is what he's done his whole career. He makes sure you're solid defensively, he makes sure you're organized, and he gives freedom in the final third. It reminds me of Real Madrid in a lot of ways, where they're made up of moments. They're made up of magical individual performances. I will say I'm not 100% convinced on Brazil when they have to go into the next round, even if they have to play a Japan, for example. I think Japan could give them a really good fight. But this is exactly what we wanted to see from Brazil when you got Ancelotti. Tactically, this is the sort of shape, and you're getting the most out of your players. And he's even been so smart in how he's handled the locker room with Neymar and giving him minutes and making sure that everyone's involved.
And Marco, you mentioned 2 players that have chips on their shoulders, Mbappé and Vini Jr., obviously on the same team. But it's been really interesting to see those 2 players in their own teams occupying the space that they want to occupy without somebody kind of coming in
I would
and running into that.
Bellingham into that conversation as well with
100%.
England. He is thriving in the space in which he wants to play. It really goes to show sort of how flawed in some ways the game plan for Real Madrid is, that they all are getting in each other's way. And that's kind of the fundamental flaw of the team, which I'm not certain a manager can fix. That's obviously a conversation for another day.
Yeah, Aaron, moving forward, it's most likely that Brazil will go on to face Japan. And I feel like we have been seeing this Brazil team continue progressing in each and every game. I think that game against Morocco, I felt like Vini was truly, really the only one on the pitch that was doing too much for Brazil. And then we've seen more and more players come in. So how are you looking at that potential matchup against Japan? Because that's kind of scary.
Marco hinted at it a little bit, but this Japanese team is a really, really quality side. They can really hurt Brazil. I think if it does end up being Japan against Brazil, it's going to be a really, really fun matchup, really highly technical. I think it'll be high energy. But this Japanese team is not someone, I don't think anyone really wants to face them with the quality they have. They're so tactically astute as well. But I think that will be an incredible match for the neutral. But I don't think Brazilians will sit there and think we can walk over Japan, because it'll be a really tough match for them.
Yeah, Marco, this was one that you called out. When you saw this, you're like, ooh.
Because I guess growing up, you say Brazil. Brazil used to win matches before they even stepped on the pitch. And the fact that we're saying it's so close shows how countries have gotten closer. The gap has been closer. Also, Brazil, not the same Brazil that we grew up with. So it's going to be such an interesting battle to see how far this Brazil team can go. Expectations, I think, are lower than in the past for Brazil team, but nevertheless, you see some of the ways that they're trying to move forward, the players that they're getting involved as well. If a game is tight and you could throw in Neymar for the last 20 minutes of a game and then maybe go into extra time, again, just the management that Ancelotti has brought to this team so far, I think, has been spot on. You could only play who you're in front of, and so far they passed that test.
I think if you rank the teams at this World Cup, you would put Brazil and Japan probably the two of them in the top 12, the top 10, it is a vastly overqualified round of 32 match. We will see teams play each other, not to overly single out teams, but Canada and South Africa are playing each other in the round of 32. You compare that to Brazil and Japan, it's worlds apart. So
Netherlands,
really
Morocco could be another one.
Right, exactly. The C and F are basically paired up. So no matter what, there's going to be two bangers that come from those two groups matching up. So in comparison, it really is just the misfortune of the draw that one of Japan or Brazil will be going home in the round of 32 because they don't deserve to.
Yeah, in terms of Brazil's opponent yesterday, Scotland, I mean, if the World Cup trophy could be given to the best fan group right here, like it would have been Scotland 2 days into the tournament. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. And so Scotland is waiting to see if they can still advance. We still have 3 days left to see if they will be able to make it. But even their coach feels like they're going home. They don't feel like they have too good of a chance to advance.
If you did the math before the tournament, I was looking at some of the simulations. If you're on 3 points and -2 goal differential, it's a very difficult mountain to climb. And you start looking at the scenarios that you need to play out in order for that to happen. Their paths are running out. And honestly, the bigger result to that end is what happened in Group A last night, which we'll get to later on in the show. But South Korea being a third-place finisher and being better than them, if South Korea had taken care of business against South Africa, Mexico took care of business against Czechia, that third-place finisher would be out. And so all of a sudden you're looking below you. Belgium still has to play a reasonably straightforward game, I believe, against Iran in their final game of the group. They could win that.
Congo take on Uzbekistan.
Even Senegal, who are rock bottom there, they play Iraq in their final game. If they win by 2 goals, they're above. When they win by 1 goal, they're above Scotland. So I think their paths have narrowed. The percentages give them about a 37% chance. I think that's charitable. I think they're likely heading out of the
It's not
tournament.
looking good, man.
No.
Also, they didn't compete. They didn't fight. I'm very they're one of my disappointments of the tournament so far is the Scotland team if they don't progress it any further. Just because the way that they conceded goals too, the way that they were gifting goals to the Brazilian team, and even the one that was taken back as well. You're Scotland. You know, you need to at least make it tough, compete, make it more difficult. Scott McTominay coming off such a phenomenal last 2 years with Napoli. I thought he would have had a better tournament. He didn't really show up in the big moments. So I agree with you, Claudia. If their fans could win the trophy, if not for their fans,
the World
then
Cup
forget
final
about
would be
what we
between the Dutch fans and the Scottish fans, probably.
Maybe the South Koreans.
South Koreans, Mexicans.
The Scots gave absolutely nothing. And look, the fact that they even are in with a shout of advancing with 3 points and 1 goal is kind of an indictment of the format as well.
They had a tough group too, though.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
They did. But also, I think the Haitians probably outperformed expectations.
Yes.
They genuinely competed in that game. I thought they deserved maybe a point from that game. But the Scotland fans are thinking going in, not only do we have to win that game, we probably have to win it by multiple goals because you know you're not going to have the goal differential on the basis of playing Morocco and Brazil, and a 3-0 result proved as such.
Yeah.
If we were going off vibes, we could throw Scotland in over Czech, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, I mean, we can get to the Czechs later.
I just want to get Whitty started a little bit. Look at the anger behind his eyes.
The way that Grella pissed off Australia, what he's going to do to Czechia.
They should be banned from the next World Cup. Yeah, they should be banned from the next World Cup. If you bring no vibes, you bring no football, what are you here for? What is the point? You're there to make up the numbers because we have to play 3 games in that group, not because you actually brought anything. I think they should be banned from the next World Cup, the Czechs.
All right. Well,
2034. 2034 is when you should be allowed to play next. It was an appalling performance. Why were you here?
Chris, you're not wrong, though. The performances were really bad.
He's got a point.
I'm going to stay locked in on the YouTube comments to see now what people have to say about Whitty. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. Much more Morning Footy, 48 Nations coming up for you on the other side of this quick break. Stay with us.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the running man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated. If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
World Cup Group B play wrapped up yesterday, and Canada wasted their chance to finish top of the group. Switzerland spoiled the party in Vancouver with Johan Manzambi delivering a goal and assist in a 2-1 win for the Swiss, who topped Group B with the win. Canada will now head off to LA for the round of 32 against South Africa. The other Group B action yesterday also took place in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle, where Bosnia and Herzegovina secured their place in the knockout rounds with a 3-1 win over Qatar. The Bosnians scored a pair of first-half goals to cruise to a comfortable victory that earned them third place in Group B and a very likely round of 32 date with the U.S. men's national team. So the final standings in Group B, Switzerland finished first in the group, followed by Canada. So, of course, they're advancing on. Now, Bosnia finished third here, and Qatar has been eliminated from the competition. Now, after Canada's match against Switzerland, Canada's coach Jussie Marsh spoke about what happened in that match for Switzerland and how his side will prepare moving forward for the knockout rounds.
I'm obviously disappointed that we go down 2 goals. I didn't think the start to either half was good. But then I thought in the first half, after the water break, we got ourselves going and then started to find ourselves in the game. And then obviously at 2-0, we pushed hard. And maybe on another day, we're able to get the equalizer. So, you know, we're still developing an understanding of what the best games are like against the best opponents that are the most meaningful games. I mean, Switzerland is a very good team, a very experienced team, a very intelligent team. And I think that showed today. And, you know, we need to continue to understand how to handle those kinds of opponents, how to handle those kinds of games. And we got to do it quickly because we're going to be in the knockout phase, which is exactly where we wanted to be.
Woody, I definitely feel like there's been a lot of expectations for Canada. I mean, they did come into this World Cup not having ever won a World Cup match. So, I mean, I don't know how high you personally had your expectations for Canada, but based off of what we saw from the match yesterday, do you feel like maybe this Canadian group won't be able to advance so far with what we saw from yesterday?
I think in the next round, right now their matchup is South Africa. And so I think they should be able, I would say, I think they're a better team than South Africa. But I think in the overall, I think they needed to be 100% healthy. It's one of the things that we probably don't talk about enough with the United States. The United States are 100% healthy at exactly the right time, other than the Pulisic thing. But they've had so many ins and outs, and they've never had their full group together. Canada needed to have their full group together, because without Bombito, who is incredible in the center of defense, covering ground, Alphonso Davies, who is their one generational player that they've produced, and without Ismail Kone, who comes out of that second game with that brutal injury, which was an emotional downer as well, I just don't think they quite have enough to really make a genuine run. I think yesterday, they got beaten by a better team. Switzerland are better than them. The only reason why I think we talk about these things in a little bit of different terms is that I do think that the home field advantage was meant to be that elevator, that maybe we're not better than our opponent, but the crowd will lift us. And the crowd just couldn't lift them to be better than Switzerland. I thought Switzerland were able to play through their press. And I think in the overall, Canada struggled to cope with the amount of quality that they were coming up against.
If they were fully fit and healthy, you think they could have put up more of a fight against Switzerland? Marco, no.
No, the group, the way that it ended is exactly the way that I thought it would end. Actually, the fact that they only were up on goal difference against Bosnia, by the way, because they were tied on points. It's the 6 goals that they score against Qatar that gets them to finish second place. I mean, you said it best. Switzerland has been a team that has so much experience, has really top quality players, and it's once you beat that press. If you could beat the press of Canada, if you have ball-playing defenders, it makes it easier to get in behind. So for me, it's not a surprise. I understand the disappointment for Canada because all you needed was a point in this match. If you get a tie, then all of a sudden you're playing your round of 32 match at home in Canada. And I believe also their round of 16 match would have been at home as well. So the fact that they have to play this in LA, they're lucky that it's not against South Korea. Otherwise, that would have been a home match for them, as for South Korea it would have been. But no, I'm not surprised at all. And I know people had them as their dark horse. I never really saw it, and maybe injuries are part of it, but I'm not sure that they compete with teams that are better than them.
Yeah, real quick, talking about fans, Whitty, there is someone in the YouTube comments right now that agrees with you about the Czechia fans, saying, I was just talking to a Czech friend, and she agrees on your take.
Vindicated. The Czechs agree with me. Yeah, I mean, there was a distinct lack of, I actually went, so I was preparing that rant this morning, and I went and searched on Twitter. I searched Czechia fans. Nothing came up. Nothing came up. Like, there were no viral videos. There was no nothing. So, yeah, I mean,
if you could go back in time and put Ireland in the World Cup instead of Czechia,
Can you imagine the Irish in Mexico? It would have been incredible.
My guy goes, what?
If we're just putting teams in,
I mean, like the Czechs lost to Ireland. The Czechs beat Ireland. Ireland were 2-0 up in that game.
The fact they're agreeing with you, too.
I am inclined to agree with you guys on Canada, though. I think they are performing right at expectations for me, even with the addition of Bombito, Fonzie Davies, and Kone being fully healthy, I still think they would be right around where they are now. Even with those 3 players, they're not a better team than Switzerland for me. I think they're probably marginally a better team than Bosnia and would still pump Qatar, but I feel they are a better team than South Africa, and that is a game they should be winning. South Africa showed something to me, though, that I don't think that'll be a walkover in the slightest. But after that, I don't really expect Canada to go too much further. They have a solid team, but not a team that you would expect to go deep into the tournament unless that real home vibe would carry them. But I think they performed right around expectations.
What about the expectations for Switzerland? Because Marco was talking about this is exactly the kind of performance he expected in this game for Switzerland specifically. Johan van Zambi coming up big and clutch in this game. Do you think Switzerland's, whether or not they can make a deep run in this competition, will hinge on him needing to be at his best every game?
I think it'll hinge on Breel Mbolo. And I think that this Switzerland team is fantastic. They have a ton of quality, but they won't go as far as they could if they had a top quality number 9. Breel Mbolo has a ton of qualities. He's really technical. He makes good runs. He holds the ball up. He presses well. He's physical. But his finishing, we saw that in their last match. His finishing is lacking in the biggest moments. He comes up missing, and he's not a consistent enough finisher at the highest levels to put Switzerland in the conversation as some of the best teams. Overall, they have a lot of quality, but they don't have enough quality up top for me.
The big difference was Manzambi coming in against Bosnia was the match that he's thrown in, because that game against Bosnia was tricky for a while. If you remember the game, I think he came in 72nd minute, then goes on to score 2 goals. 20 years old, one of the best talents that Switzerland has. They believe that he's going to break the transfer record for best player from a Swiss player. He is just so good at breaking the lines. Yeah. He's not scared to dribble his man. At a time where Switzerland were playing it extremely safe, they were organized in the back. There was no one who was taking on their man. He did more in 2 minutes than Ndoye did in the 70 minutes that he was playing. And the fact that he's got 3 goals and now 1 assist, he has a top talent. He could play as a 6, an 8, or a 10. He could drift out wide. He really could do it all. And for me, Switzerland are consistently underrated. You look at what they've done in major tournaments. They knocked France out of Euro 2020. They knocked Italy out of Euro 2024. They lost in penalties to England as well, where they said, we realized to ourselves that we're actually better than we think. We can knock out these top teams. They have experience. They have some young guys coming through. I wouldn't want to play against the Swiss team. Actually, I learned that I don't want to play against the Swiss team.
And you look up the spine of the team, it's Kobel in goal, it's Akanji at center back, it's Xhaka in midfield. These are rock-solid players.
Rock-solid core.
And I think the one thing, though, is you look at that section of the draw, though, it is a bit difficult. They play a third-place team next. It could be Algeria or Austria, and then you're heading towards a round of 16 if you get there. In Vancouver, they're staying in Vancouver against any of Croatia, Colombia, Portugal. Those could be some difficult matchups. So I actually kind of think the path might have been better off as the runner-up for them. Also, I think for as the group winner, Canada would have benefited from being at home, but as the runner-up, they might have benefited more from the matches.
But they're not out in any of those matches.
No.
For me, they're not.
No, they're just tougher games than playing South Africa for me.
Agreed.
And this is their most common potential opponent.
Yeah,
in the
Algeria.
Round of 32.
You like that? Algeria, Austria, Egypt, Iran, Belgium. I mean, would you say this is maybe more of a favorable path for Switzerland than
I don't know if we want to call it favorable. I do think Switzerland can beat any of these teams, though. They have the quality to match it. How do we call favorable? I do think they have the quality to beat Algeria. They have the quality to beat Austria, Egypt, Iran. Belgium is such a weird prospect because they haven't performed at all, but they have the players in their team. But I really think that this Switzerland team, if Brel and Bolo can really fire it, they have the quality. But he's a question for me.
And then if they were to continue on, SofaScore does have Portugal being their most likely opponent, followed by Colombia, Croatia, Ghana, Senegal.
That's where it starts to get squirrely.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that entirely comes down to that group close in Group K between Portugal and Colombia. They basically have Portugal there by virtue of the fact that they favor them to win that game outright. They would have to win it. If Colombia win or draw, then they would be the group winners and be in that part of the draw.
Yeah.
But they could do it. I genuinely, this is not unimaginable. If they were playing in Argentina, France, then I would say, okay, you know, Switzerland's time ends there. The first group of matches, they should win. This is football. Anything could happen. They should beat any of those teams. And the second matches, yes, Portugal is one of the teams that everyone's talking about, but they can make it extremely difficult. We saw the way that teams defend against this Portuguese side. I see Switzerland doing something similar. And then it'll be about if they could score the goal.
And then looking at Bosnia in this group, it looks like they're more likely than not to advance. What do you make of their possibility of making a deep run? I mean, what have you been seeing from them in the group stages that makes you think that they have a good hope moving forward, Aaron?
I hope they don't make a good run if they're coming over against
Yeah, look at the stars on his shirt. Look at the stripes on mine.
I mean,
it's
tell
the
me,
USA
what do you
next
think?
likely.
Yeah, that one's going to be a really interesting matchup. Even Asmir Begovic came out and said the Bosnians would probably play fairly conservatively in that match. And that's what I would expect from Bosnia is to sit in a low block, to try to hit out on the counter, to play from the wings. They have strikers that can finish. They are physical. They can capitalize from set pieces. That's how I would expect Bosnia to try to work that match, to try to draw the U.S. in on a high press and spring a break in that way. But it would be a tough match no matter who it is. If it's Senegal, if it's Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's either one of those matchups are a really, really tough one for the U.S. and it's going to be, I think it's going to be a fantastic match no matter who it is, even if it is that less than 1% that it's Senegal.
Tactically, it's a really interesting matchup because the way that you would hurt this Bosnian team is by pressing them. By the way, their fans have just been absolutely incredible.
Yes.
The support that they have had and seeing the traveling fans, they waited for this for such a long time. They beat all odds just to get here as well, whether it's been in Canada, wherever their games have been. Their support is amazing, and we know that makes a difference. But tactically, when you talk about this match, you have to press them. If you press Bosnia and you do it well, and you're effective, that's how you could hurt them. But they're also very okay with doing that.
Yeah.
They are comfortable sitting in their position, in their spots, and then hitting out. In the match against Qatar, they went a little bit more offensive. They had Bayraktarovic, Ayabegovic, which they didn't do in the first two matches because they understood who their opponent is. And if USA make the mistake of making it a dogfight and they can't press them effectively, they're in for a long night because mentally, they're so tough, Bosnia. They want to make it a tie game. Yeah. They've already shown that they could go far on penalty kicks as well. That's how they got this far. So you can't overlook Bosnia.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I think Bosnia would have to employ the strategy that they employed against Qatar rather than the defensive one. I think the U.S. has shown against two pretty rock-solid teams in Paraguay and Australia that they can press. Their counter-press is incredibly effective. They got an early goal in both of those games. They have quality. They have ideas. They do well in the final third. I think if Bosnia sit in, you're just there for the taking. I think this guy, Ayabegovic and Bayraktarovic on the other side, who you mentioned, Marco, are the players that need to make the difference in the game. In the first two games, when they were approaching it more conservatively, they would only play one or the other. For me, if I were Bosnia, I would go out with my best punch. I would go out saying, I threw everything that I had at it. I threw my best attackers on the field, and I tried to go after the United States. Because the United States can be vulnerable defensively. I think playing defensively against the U.S. plays into their hands from what we've seen so far with this World Cup. I think you have to actually challenge them. You have to take the game to the United States. And no team has been able to do that so far. We don't really get a clear glimpse of that tonight against Türkiye. From my perspective, I think Bosnia have to go out of this game throwing their best punch. I don't think what they did in the first two games would work against the U.S.
Yeah. All right. Well, so much to continue talking about with the World Cup. But for right now, we are going to take a quick break here. Much more Morning Footy 48 Nations coming up on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gotta blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Let's take you now out to Group A action in Mexico, where South Korea had a chance to secure second place with a win. But South Africa had some other ideas, though, with Tapelo Maseko scoring the only goal of the night between the two to give the Bafana Bafana the 1-0 victory. That result leaves the South Koreans having to wait to see if they'll reach the knockout rounds, while South Africa earned their first ever trip to the World Cup knockout rounds in Mexico with their huge win over Czechia, eliminated Czechia and put Mexico in the top of Group A. But looking at South Africa, what many may call a shock win, shock performance over South Korea, but our guy, Mbizo Zemane, our CBS Sports African football correspondent, says otherwise. Mbizo, how are you feeling?
Congrats, Mbizo.
Bafana Bafana. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much, folks. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all.
How are you feeling about the huge victory for Bafana Bafana yesterday?
I described it to somebody as a fever dream. It feels like it's completely unreal. Years and years and years. Of course, we're a little bit behind other African nations in the sense that we weren't allowed to compete internationally because of political issues like apartheid and so on and so forth. But we have a fantastic league. We have fantastic players, and to be able to be doing this with mostly domestically based players who come from our league, it's just absolutely delightful. And after our failure to progress in 2010, it just feels like a watershed moment where all our hard work, all our pain, all our support has finally come to fruition. It's difficult to describe. It's unbelievable. I know you guys have experienced it. Many other nations have experienced it, but this is my first time. It's unbelievable.
And Mbizo, I'm so happy for you. I love seeing that smile. But I want to bring you back to the first match against Mexico when we had you on. And after the second goal, you wanted Hugo Bruce out. You wanted him sacked. What's changed since then?
What's changed are the tactics, but I still want Hugo Bruce out. Let me be very, very clear about that. But the truth is that, Hugo Bruce claimed that he won't listen to social media. He doesn't listen to the fans and what they want. But when he put the team on the pitch that the fans have been calling for since day one, that the fans were calling for during AFCON, during the pre-World Cup friendlies, this is the result that you get. You get a team that can keep the ball, put it on the carpet, extremely creative players who are able to run with the ball and open up space. I think our finishing still left a lot to be desired, of course, which is, I think, it's natural, I think, for players who are for the first time on this stage. But the key was making the team able to compete, putting our best players on the pitch. And that young man there that you see, Rele Mufukeng, what a game, what a player. He should have had at least 2 assists. Just delightful touches all over the place, playing with a maturity far beyond his years. And the key to this victory, again, was just having faith in South African football. And we did it the South African way.
Mbizo, you hit on it perfectly. What is South Africa doing right in their development that sees so many of the players from the South African League and young players in the national team succeeding right now?
Well, I think principally it's we give young players opportunities. I think if you look at our league, young players get the chance to play. And again, many of our players, they remain domestic, which to many people seems like a disadvantage. A lot of people spoke about how other teams have players playing in Europe, all over the place at higher levels, so maybe that is their advantage. But I tend to believe that keeping players in the country maintains our identity. If you look at, for example, Brazil some time ago, players used to go to Europe a little bit later. Yes, they went to Europe, but they went to Europe later when they had already developed a domestic style. They had already played several seasons in Libertadores. They had already struggled in the Brasileirão, Serie A, Serie B. So they developed a national identity. And I think that's one of our strong points. We may not have the kinds of superstars that other big African nations have, of course, but we have an identity, a very clear way of how we want to play. And when we lost that in the past, we struggled. When we had that, we won AFCON. And I think we're beginning to redevelop that self-belief and that self-confidence. And again, at grassroots level, we have great structures and infrastructure. At the professional level, we have great structure and infrastructure. And now at the national team, we're beginning to demonstrate that fluidity and that continuity where we're coming from these base developmental areas into the national team. And it's just delightful.
But Bizo, after that first game, when you lose to Mexico, you have 2 players red carded, there would have been an anger, a disappointment, a resignation. Now that you've won this game, as I believe the biggest underdog to have won a game so far at this World Cup, you've won this game, and now the matchup against Canada is not undoable. You're not playing them in Canada. You're playing them in Los Angeles. You're shaking your head right now. I imagine the fans think you can win this.
Oh, yeah, no, we can absolutely win this. And what's delightful is that I'm seeing on social media, I see Canadians saying, oh, great, South Africa made it through, the easiest team out of that group. And the funny thing is we're saying the same thing. We're delighted that it's the Canadians that we're meeting in the next round as opposed to the Swiss or some other stronger teams. With absolutely all due respect, Canada has some good players and players that I admire and respect. But let's all be frank with one another. As far as football is concerned, football heritage, football culture, football history, Canada doesn't have the football history that South Africa has. Canada doesn't have the global football stars that South Africa's had. Your Lucas Hadebes, your Benny McCarthy's, your Stephen Pienaars, your Sibusiso Zumas. I mean, we have a culture of the game. We have a history. We've been AFCON champions. So while we absolutely respect the Canadians, we have absolutely nothing to fear. And the truth is, we'll be playing with the reins completely free. Because for me, we've already reached our goal. For me, anything other than this is a cherry on top. And I hope that the players play with that kind of freedom because we have absolutely nothing to fear. The boys have absolutely nothing to be ashamed about. We can take Canada.
We talk your talk. Amazing what one win can do.
I mean,
one win and all of a sudden.
Can you imagine what this sounded like after Mexico? I mean, there was no way you would have sounded like that after the Mexico game.
And Bizo, we saw the fireworks too in Johannesburg. Are the fans, do they all feel exactly how you feel? Are they this confident?
I think so. I think most of the fans. are feeling the same way as I feel. I think that again, we don't want to be arrogant. Of course, I mean we haven't really truly done anything. Our performances still left a lot to be desired. But again, when you see your best players on the pitch, it's difficult not to have a modicum of hope. When you make history, it's difficult not to cultivate a sort of self-belief and a confidence that this can continue. And again, with such little pressure on their shoulders, it's difficult for a South African not to believe that it's possible. And again, Switzerland for me would have been a more difficult matchup, not necessarily based on talent, but based on experience, right? So I think most South African fans agree with me. In fact, there's some who might go further. There were some who were taking it a little bit too far, saying, yeah, we want Argentina, we want France. Where's Messi? Where's Cristiano Ronaldo? This isn't enough for us. Sung Heung-min isn't the level of player we want to compete against. We want more, which is obviously all in jest. But yeah, I think the average South African fan believes this is possible.
Love that.
And Bizo, we do have a comment on YouTube that says, yes, but Canada is hungry and talented. Just ask the U.S. and Mexico. What do you have to say in response to that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Of course. And they will be eager to do. I mean, they're not playing this game at home, but it is their tournament. They are among the hosts. And I understand how that feels. You are hungry to do well. You are desperate to do well. In fact, that kind of desperation and eagerness propelled us in 2010 to beat a very good French side, which still had one of my idols, albeit he was a big part player at the time, Thierry Henry. So I think, it makes sense. But who isn't hungry? What are our bellies full? Are we not starving? Are we not desperate? We absolutely are. And not just to prove the world wrong that we can play football, but because of recent events and recent sort of social, cultural, and political issues, we're hoping to prove the rest of Africa wrong and hopefully win them back onto our side to say, look, we are here to represent you. We are playing well. Be happy for us. We're all in this together because we will be supporting every other African nation. And if we can get 8 African nations in there, that is the goal. That's the dream.
And Bizo, I think you've got everyone fired up. I think we're all looking forward to when Bafana potentially beat Canada. We have you back here. I can't wait to see what the energy will be like. We'll have him on no matter what.
No matter what, 100%.
And Visa, you're the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, folks. Enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, well, you guys can tell that he is
fired up.
Psyched. He is fired up. But looking at South Korea, because, guys, South Korea's performance yesterday even had a journalist asking their coach if they got food poisoning because of the way that they were playing, or I guess the way they didn't show up to this match yesterday. But per The Athletic, South Korea does have a 94% chance of still advancing as one of the third-place teams. And most likely they could be facing off against Egypt or potentially Belgium. Marco, what do you think of that, one of those two matchups?
I mean, I'm very disappointed in South Korea. I thought they were going to look a lot better. Maybe it was just the great second half that they had where I thought, okay, this could be the tournament for them. They could go on. I thought for sure they would have put in better performances than they did. Their coach made also big decisions, leaving Son on the bench, which then after the match, he said, I did make mistakes in my selection. I think they're lucky with the way that the format is now, that it can be forgiving. And when you see some of those opponents, maybe they'll think that they could turn it around. But I'm more worried about the locker room. It feels like there's something there. Even Kim gets subbed off and he's screaming and losing his mind. And of course, you never want, a player never should be happy about being subbed off. Yeah. But it just feels like maybe there's something in the locker room. And the most important thing in a World Cup and for international football is forming the group. Yeah. Every World Cup winner will tell you, if you form a group, it's not about the talent. That could take you further than that alone. And it feels like something is missing.
It's impossible to pinpoint because we're not in the locker room. We don't know what's going on, but the vibes just seem off. From even the beginning of the tournament with the journalists questioning Son, it just feels like the vibes around camp are off. They don't feel like they're really fighting for each other. There's no real passion, togetherness of the team. But then you look at, with this format, who they're going to come up against. I haven't been impressed by Egypt. I absolutely have not been impressed by Belgium. So even with all this poor performances, poor vibes, they can come out of this group, rally, and still have a chance to make a run, which is the beauty or the detriment of this new format, however you want to look at it.
And they're in that section of the draw with the United States as well, where they're in that sort of bottom left quadrant, which could potentially see them play the U.S. in the last 16. But I think they've been awful in their last two games. Against Mexico, they do not deserve to go through, in my opinion. They might because of the math, because they're on that -1 goal differential, but I thought they were dreadful in the last two games. And I think the most concerning thing for them, if they are to advance, is how bad Son has been. Son Heung-min, really, since the MLS season began, he has not played well. He has a goal for LAFC. He's been really poor for the South Korean national team, which is not, I think, what they need in order to succeed. They made 3 changes at halftime yesterday. They looked like they were playing for a draw, and the worst thing you can do is try to play for a draw, because then what happens is you give up 1 goal. South Africa were better on the day. They had the better chances, and they won the game. But for South Korea, I cannot see them going beyond the round of 32. I think if they make it, that's where it ends.
Yeah, well, the vibes are definitely all with Mexico, I think, in this group. Even Marco woke up feeling Mexican this morning, listening to La Chona on his way in. We're going to take a break here on Morning Footy. Much more 48 Nations coverage coming up.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back into Morning Footy. Here's a look at our trivia. When was the last time that the U.S. men's national team defeated a European opponent in the World Cup group stage? So I'll give you guys a little second to think, but we are going to reveal the answer. So if you got any...
Is it a trick question?
No, I know the answer.
Oh, you guys know the answer?
I mean, I know the answer. It was it's Portugal 2002, right?
Oh, easy peasy.
Wow.
This is why we keep Woody around.
We're great at drawing against England. We've got the draw against England nailed down, but yeah, in terms of victories, yeah, it's been 24 years.
AI.
Yeah, should the three of us just walk off? Winnie can host, toss the questions to himself, answer them. Like, do you want to also go produce the show in the back? Because I have a feeling you could do that as well.
Why not? I'll get behind the camera. Francesca, you take a break.
A little bit of everything.
Like the 3 a.m. our time match?
Yeah.
I do remember watching that match with my dad and like going crazy in the morning, and my mom like waking up like, what's going on?
I remember watching that games from that World Cup because I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
It was like on tape delay. And because it was on tape delay on ESPN, they would run like the little ticker at the bottom of the screen.
With the score?
And the score of the game, like, wait, I'm watching it live. They won? They win 2-1? What?
I started, my parents let me wake up early because I hated that so much.
All right, guys. Well, now that Woody got the answer pretty quickly, how about we switch over to our latest headlines, because there is plenty of World Cup news to get to. So we're going to start off with punishment that's been handed down after one of the uglier moments of the tournament that we've seen. Qatar midfielder Asim Madibo has been issued a 5-match suspension for his red card challenge on Canadian midfielder Ismail Kone, who suffered a broken leg in that play. Kone has already undergone surgery and is facing a 4 to 5 month recovery. Heading over now to some more injury news. Senegal will play their must-win Group I finale against Iraq without star goalkeeper Edouard Mendy. The former Chelsea goalkeeper picked up a knee injury during Senegal's loss to Norway on Monday. Senegal does need a win tomorrow to have a chance of qualifying for the knockout rounds. In other injury news, we do have the latest update on Christian Pulisic, who confirmed that he has recovered from the injury that he suffered in the U.S. men's national team's opening win against Paraguay. Pulisic sat out of the U.S.'s win over Australia, but he has returned to full training and is expected to see some minutes tonight against Türkiye. The Americans have already secured first place in Group D, while Türkiye has already been eliminated from the World Cup. A reminder that we will have pre-match and post-match coverage for the USA-Türkiye match with the Call It What You Want crew starting at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight right here on the Golazo Network. And while we could see Christian Pulisic return to action, interest in the AC Milan star has led at least one MLS team to make a blockbuster bid for the American sensation. So according to multiple reports, New York City FC approached AC Milan about a potential transfer for Pulisic, with Milan making it clear that Pulisic is not for sale. The 27-year-old is heading into the final year of his contract with Milan, but they do have an option to extend the deal another year. NYCFC, as a reminder, is opening up their brand new stadium in Queens in 2027 and are hoping to tempt Pulisic with a reported $56 million contract. Now, Marco, AC Milan did say that Pulisic is not for sale. Do you see him, though, staying at Milan, even though they won't be having Champions League yet again next season?
Yeah, it's 2 years in a row. I think that's the difficult part of this, right? Because I think for 1 year, you could say, okay, what's the project, where we're going to go? But Milan's goal was to get into Champions League football, and it was an absolute disaster that they went into Europa League. I think from Milan's perspective, they don't want to let him go. But I think my hunch is that Christian will want to leave. I don't think he would go to NYCFC. To me, that's crazy. I think that he'll stay in Europe and try to get a team in Champions League. But if your club doesn't want to sell, now they're in a weird position. And he's had to deal with a lot since being at Milan. He started incredibly, but then they've gone through so many coaches. Yeah. You think of Conceição and Fonseca, and then this year with Allegri, it was a disaster. He didn't score in 2026, played out of position, didn't have a striker with him. So if I'm Christian Pulisic and if I'm thinking ahead, I think that he tries to push for a move. I hope not. I hope he stays at Milan, and now they have Amorim. So how does he fit into those plans?
I kind of think he'd be a good fit for Milan down that left side. The one thing that is interesting about this getting out and sort of the idea of it is for MLS clubs to try and have the big American stars playing in the league. And I think at some point that's going to have to be a reality. It might not be now, it might be in 10 years from now, but in order for MLS to really take a big step forward, you kind of have to keep some of your big stars playing in the league. I appreciate that there is a higher level to be achieved in Europe, but I think this is a signal of, well, these are incredibly, I mean, the number of commercials that Christian Pulisic is in at this World Cup this summer, he is a big star in this country, and to most take advantage of that, for American soccer to most take advantage of that, would be for Pulisic to travel to all 29 MLS cities and be able to actually play in games there. So I think at some point...
Wouldn't it be a worse thing?
Worse thing for what?
For Pulisic to not play in Champions League? Like, we want our best American players to play at the best competition. Him going to MLS, it's not one step back, it's 2 steps back. So do we want that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it sort of depends on sort of what you're looking for. If you're trying to grow the game in this country, the domestic league has to keep its biggest stars. At some point, I'm not saying that it's now, but at some point you take that swing and say the biggest priority for MLS clubs is to keep the biggest American stars here. To spend the considerable amounts of money that they're spending on, let's say, Messi and link with Lewandowski and all these players. Why not on the biggest American stars? Because they are right now most marketable, especially if they go on a deep run at this World Cup to a quarterfinal, to maybe even a semifinal. This team will be so popular here that these guys will be massive stars, and MLS will want to capitalize on that. So you understand why they're into it. The question is Pulisic up for it?
Yeah, from the Pulisic perspective, I think it makes more sense to stay in Europe. He's still a quality player. He's still a Champions League level player. While he can play in Champions League, you should still try to play in Champions League at the highest level you possibly can play at.
He does more to grow the game in America by staying in the Champions League than he does going to MLS, for me.
I disagree with that. Even though it is a higher level and he's playing at that level, ultimately the game here cannot grow until the domestic league becomes right up there with one of the best in the world. And that is going to change with something radical happening. Something radical being a player playing in MLS when they could play in the Champions League. That has to happen at some point.
Yeah. Ooh, I like this.
Need a longer segment.
I know.
This is finally going to be wrong.
Commercial break for this.
We got him.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. Much more Golazo Network 48 Nations coverage coming up.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others, but they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Soccer isn't a new game in the United States. The immigrants brought it here in 1912.
The opportunity to play for my country, I just could not pass that up.
We're all very proud of you.
Not everyone is aware of what happened in important historical moments for American soccer.
I was a kid that shouldn't have made it. Kid from Nacogdoches, Texas.
Clint Dempsey Doodle.
Kind of one of those things I wasn't going to be denied.
People criticize me often.
You can't take it seriously. It's the USA.
But I get to have that attention because I'm good.
We were carrying the weight of American soccer on our shoulders.
I'm a put it shot.
Probably unfair to 20 guys.
When he looks at you, he looks like he wants to kill you. And I have respect for that.
It's about how much are you willing to give to win.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
The USA has realized the dream.
Dempsey threw the ball in! What can this kid do?
Paramount Plus is your one stop for the best documentaries in American soccer. You Don't Know Where I'm From, Dog is a story of Clint Dempsey in just one of several docuseries, along with Pulisic, a 9-part docuseries that gives you a behind-the-scenes look into the life and story of U.S. star Christian Pulisic. And Billion Dollar Goal, a 3-part docuseries focused on the biggest game-changing moment in American soccer history. You can watch all 3 documentaries exclusively on Paramount Plus. We're going to take a quick break here. Much more Morning Footy 48 Nations coverage coming up on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others, but they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And we live the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Three more groups are in action today, playing their final group stage match, and that includes Group E, where Ecuador will be taking on Germany and Curaçao will be taking on the Ivory Coast. And that will be at 4 p.m. Eastern, followed by Group F. Two matches there at 7 p.m. Eastern. Japan taking on Sweden, and Tunisia will go up against the Netherlands. Now, Woody, the Athletic has Ecuador at a 21% chance of advancing onto the knockout round. There was a lot of confidence coming into this World Cup for this Ecuador side, especially that they were on a 19-match unbeaten streak coming into it. And then we've seen two disappointing results here. So what's the story that you're looking at coming into Ecuador's match today?
Can I first say, can I give a shout out to The Athletic for having that updated bracket with the percentages? I have that page bookmarked on my Google Chrome, and I probably check it 30 times a day. On to Ecuador. I do think that the biggest thing that we kind of ignored is we talk so much about their defensive record. And it is one of those things that is incredibly attractive when you're talking about a team that can make a deeper run than you would expect. It's a team that can frustrate their opponent. The one thing that we kind of failed to talk about is that 10 of their last 15 games have ended in draws, that they're not an entertaining team whatsoever, and that when they were handed the game against Curaçao, go make the game, they couldn't do it. And I think so much, and it is just the imbalance of a national team. You can't make transfers to bring in a star striker. You have to go with what you got. Otherwise, they would spend $50 million on a striker because that's the only thing it seems like they're missing. I think that all of their talent is in defensive midfield, and it's in the center of defense. They've got an incredible defensive setup with Pacho and Hincapié. They've got Moises Caicedo in midfield, fantastic defensively. And it's understandable that you would look at that and go, well, they can make a deep run. Defense wins championships. I am more and more not ascribing to that belief. I think you have to have a real personality going forward, and Ecuador simply do not have that. So in this game against Germany, which, by the way, the big talking point here is that Germany might not fully rotate their squad.
That is what Nagelsmann said.
They look like they're going to pick their starters. We have our projected 11s here, and the only changes that will probably happen, we have obviously in the center of defense with Schlotterbeck being injured. Nathaniel Brown is also dealing with an injury as well. Those might be the only two players that come out of the team because Julian Nagelsmann has said that he feels like this team still needs to develop that cohesion, that chemistry. So we're going to pick our best 11, and that's a bad sign for Ecuador. So it is completely about their ability to go forward, create chances, and finish them because it has been in staggeringly short supply so far this World Cup for them.
Yeah, it's truly not going to be an easy match. Ecuador taking on Germany. How about we look at the other match in this group, in Group E? Aaron, we do have Curaçao who are taking on the Ivory Coast. Two teams who, coming into this tournament, I think lots of people just kind of wrote both of these nations off, but they've both proved why they do belong to be here. So what's the big story that you're looking at in this matchup?
As incredible as a story as Curaçao have been, I'm looking at the other side. Yan Diomande has come into this tournament. He had a big hype attached to his name, and he has proven the hype is justified. It's worth it. He is electric. He has been absolutely brilliant. He's really been the focal point for this Ivory Coast team. He's been the lightning rod for them. But I need to see more from the rest of them. Ahmad popped up with a goal, but they've only had one goal, Ivory Coast, from their 3 attackers in 2 matches. Against Curaçao, even though this Curaçao team have been such a revelation, I would expect the rest of their attack to step up, for Ivory Coast to give a more exciting, more attacking showing against Curaçao, and I need to see more from the rest of. Jan needs to demand more. Diomande needs to demand for the rest of his teammates.
I'm really excited by Côte d'Ivoire. I've loved watching them play. For me, they're just so exciting. They're young. They probably lack a little bit of experience, but that's it. Like in the game against Germany,
they're not afraid.
They were going toe-to-toe with them. And there's some players, I know that Diomande steals the headlines. He's got the big money move, the $100+ million to Liverpool, or wherever he ends up. But Ulay in the midfield from Trabzonspor, the 20-year-old, has been phenomenal. Sangare as well. Single in the back. He could play center back. He could play right back. He does it for Galatasaray. I'm telling you, they're on the verge, this Côte d'Ivoire. They need a little bit. They're missing that bite. You know, you're not going to get that many chances in a World Cup game, especially when you're playing the likes of Germany. But I still believe there's something special within this roster. And even if they don't do it right now and necessarily in this World Cup, I think they'll do well against Curaçao. They have such a bright future for years to come because they are developing talent. And to your point, on teams needing to play with courage, for me, they do play with a lot of courage.
Yeah. Before we move on to the other group, we do have a comment, Whitty, saying that Ecuador might finish last in this group, and that would be such a huge disappointment. It truly would, wouldn't it?
Massive, because, I mean, everyone talked about them as a dark horse, and the reason why they're not living up to that billing. They've been fine defensively. It's because of how poor they are going forward. They're not an enterprising team. Ener Valencia is probably no longer good enough to lead the line at international level. And yeah, it would be a massive disappointment given the hype and given where they finished in qualifying. They only gave up 5 goals. The resume looked great coming in, but I think we kind of ignored its flaws.
Second in qualifying.
Second. In South America.
Ecuador. Can you imagine them, Turkey, Uruguay, all teams that I've been disappointed with so far. So let's see if they could turn it around. It's simple, at least. You have to win. If you don't win, you're out.
Yeah, but Whitty, you make such a good point, because when you do look at the 19-match unbeaten streak, there's lots of 0-0 draws in there, or maybe they won by won by 1 or 2 goals. So you have to truly look into it to get a deeper look into that story. But all right, Marco, let's go to Group F right now, because we do have Netherlands, who are expected to take care of business against Tunisia. So the other game that we're looking at in this group, Japan versus Sweden. What's the huge story that you're looking at coming into this one?
I'm excited with this one because now the goal difference and goal scored are probably going to be in play. They tied the first game, Japan and Netherlands 2-2. They're tied on goal difference with +4. And Netherlands is 1 goal more than them. And we've already seen, we know Tunisia's going to concede a lot against the Netherlands. The Netherlands attack is finally starting to click. So it's, can Japan outscore Netherlands against Tunisia? This is also a Sweden team that's been really strange. The firepower up top, but they also have conceded a lot of goals at the same time. Japan, despite dealing with injuries, have put in really good performances. They've shown fight, they've shown spirit, they've come back in matches. So I think it's going to be interesting to see, can they outscore the Netherlands in this match? And that will be the decider on who is first place and who's not. So they need to root for Tunisia to maybe learn how to defend after the first 2 games.
Oh, what are you guys expecting out of this Japan-Sweden game? Do you think?
I actually do expect goals. The way that the Japan attacked, the way that Sweden attacked, the poor defensive showing that Sweden has had through this entire tournament, and the commitment of both these teams to be positive, I really do think we'll see goals, and I think we'll see an exciting match.
I think Japan is a good deal better than Sweden.
I agree with you on that as well.
Sweden,
as a whole,
Sweden, we kind of got a little bit carried away with the, they got through in the playoffs. They played well in the playoffs. They played well in that first game. And when you start well and you smash Tunisia in your first game, like, okay, great, but Tunisia's awful. Tunisia is not worthy of being in this tournament. So, I mean, the fact that they beat them, I'm not necessarily that impressed.
But that's not even the question, right? It's not, are they better than Sweden? We'll all agree. Are they better than what Netherlands can do against Tunisia?
Right. And I think it might get to a point where Japan start piling on the pressure to get 3, 4, and 5. But I think Netherlands will ultimately win the group.
Yeah, taking a look at some of the YouTube comments that we've gotten, all of the African teams except Tunisia have come good in this World Cup.
I mean, there's a chance, I believe 11 qualify from Africa. There's a genuine chance that 10 of them might go through, which is crazy in terms of the level of success to have at a major tournament. With the way that South Africa kind of pulled it out at the end, Cabo Verde still definitely have a chance to get through. They play Saudi Arabia in their final game. It's insane what they've done so far.
Yeah. All right. Well, how about we bring in our CBS Sports betting analyst, John Buckets Eimer, into this conversation?
That's Kevin De Bruyne. That's
how many times have you worn that USA jersey?
Did you change? Hold up. Where did this USA
Yeah, there was a
jersey
used
come
cardi
from?
that was on before.
Never had a cardigan on before.
Listen.
got
You
it
guys
on
missed
under.
the first show. You missed it. I do have it under. You can see the sleeves right here.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're supporting USA today, right? That's all that matters.
Let's go. I love it. I love it. Buckets, what bets do you have for us today?
I've got 3 bets, and you guys have made me look much better than I actually am because you've already backed all of these bets in one way or another, starting with Tunisia versus Netherlands. We've already talked about how goal differential matters, so you're not only motivated to win, but you're motivated to roll over your opponents. And Tunisia's defense has been non-existent this World Cup. Taking over 1.5 goals in the first half, we're getting that at even money, plus 100. Wouldn't be shocked if Netherlands are up 2-0 in the 20th minute here, expecting this to be early goals in this game. Bet number 2, Japan versus Sweden. Japan over 1.5 team total. Japan to score 2 or more goals in this game is minus 110. I think Japan is also the superior team to Sweden with how they've been playing, and Sweden's defense, not quite as bad as Tunisia's, but not much better with how they've been playing with that back line right now. Japan should win this game by multiple goals. I might ladder this. I might take them to score 3 or 4, but the fact that I can get 2 or more at good value here is my best bet for this game. And finally, Ecuador versus Germany. Nagelsmann kind of hurting Ecuador's odds here a bit by saying he's playing all of their best players. And even if you don't play their best players, Deniz Undav comes on for 5 minutes and scores 10 goals. This is a team that is a threat to everyone right now, but I do expect Ecuador in a must-win situation not to sit back and just play defense for 90 minutes because you cannot do that and play for a 0-0 against Germany. I think we're going to see goals in all 3 of those matches, but I love both teams to score and over 2.5 goals in this game at plus 110.
Love that, Buckets. Guys, we also did have a comment earlier that says defense wins championships is such a flawed concept. I think that was in regards to us talking about Ecuador and their defensive, their defense.
You have to have a good defense to win championships. You have to score goals
as well.
to win championships.
And that's also the other debate going on. The chat is, well, they're not bad. They've had lots. It's the goalkeepers that have just been making lots of saves. People are like, have you seen how many shots on goal Ecuador has taken? But Buckets, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Go buy a shirt, bro.
Thanks so much, guys.
We're going to send you a care package.
Take the winnings. Take the winnings and reinvest.
Yeah, all this money he's making. Buy some clothes.
We're going to take a quick break here. Much more Morning Footy 48 Nations coming up.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here. Now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
A crowd crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Well, the road trip continues. It's day 15 of 41 on Nico Cantor's coast-to-coast RV trip. He started in LA, watched the USA beat Paraguay, then traveled up to Seattle to watch a pair of games at Lumen Field. The crew then trekked all the way to Texas. Nico watched Messi break one record in Dallas and then saw Ronaldo break another record in Houston. Now he's up in Kansas City at the Power and Light District, is where he was yesterday to watch the Mexico game. And now he is joining us this morning, Nico Cantor, alongside Graham Zusi, which many people may know as an MLS legend, but I know him as a University of Maryland legend. So, Nico, you make sure that I tell him, go Terps. Make sure you say that.
Absolutely. So, yes, Graham Zusi, go Terps is what they're telling me. We're here at Char Bar, and wow, whoa. Mike's coming out with the full-on barbecue. Look at this.
This is our Kingdom tray, which is our burn ends, our crispy smoked wings, our St. Louis-style spare ribs, our charred cauliflower with our hand-cut fries, and this is the Thursday pastrami burnt end Reuben. Fontina cheese, Russian dressing, caramelized sauerkraut. It's delicious. You're
Wow, incredible. Mike, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Good to see you. You're welcome.
Yeah. All right, so before we get into all of this barbecue, we are, yes, with the longest tenured player for one MLS club, an MLS Cup champion, a national team player, Graham Zusi, and what is now your city, right?
That's right.
Kansas City. You played here, now you're retired, past your playing days, you're still here. Explain to me why Kansas City becomes sticky, like you were just telling me.
Yeah, it certainly does. Thank you. You know, people always don't know what to expect when they come here, and then once they're here, they fall in love with it. It's an easy place to fall in love with. The people are incredible. It's kind of an easy place to live, and sports town. It's certainly a sports town, and then you've got the eats as well. So
nice, the eats.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it is a sticky place. Not only myself, but there's been countless other players who have ended their career in Kansas City and stuck around.
Dude, so what's it like when international soccer comes to this city? Argentina, the other day, you were at Arrowhead. What was that like, seeing the entire stadium in light blue and white and not red and yellow?
Yeah, it was kind of a surreal moment. I've been to Arrowhead and some of the biggest playoff games that Kansas City's hosted. And so I know what it's like to have a stadium just filled with red. But being there and seeing 99% of the fans were in number 10 jerseys in the blue and white, it was really fun to see. And then the singing and the dancing, the passion was an epic moment to see for me.
Crazy to see. How do you think that in turn can help drive this sport forward in this country?
Yeah, we've seemingly had moments in Kansas City's history that have just taken the sport up a level. And I think 2014 World Cup was certainly one of those moments. Looking back, seeing Power and Light District just packed to the gills. And I think that this moment of Kansas City being able to host is another one of those moments to kind of push the sport even further. The influx of fans, the passion that we have as Kansas Cityans to host is incredible as well. So you combine those two things, and I think soccer is going to take another leap forward.
So my thesis, I guess, with this RV trip, I'm learning along the way, is that a lot of people from the outside say that we don't have football culture, right? And I think we do. I think it's very rich, because I was yesterday at the watch party at Power and Light, and I want to see somebody tell me that that's not football culture. We were there, we'll call it what you want, at Power and Light. It was packed with American fans. Today it's going to be packed with American fans again. Go tell me that that's not football culture. So why does this city in the middle of the country have such a rich soccer culture like the other great metropolitan areas of the country?
Well, I think early on, especially with with Kansas City Wizards, Sporting Kansas City, there was a vision from an ownership group that said, why not Kansas City? And they made incredible investments, built an amazing stadium, and from that we gained success and we won championships, and that certainly brings everyone together as well. So yeah, I'm totally with you. I was at the second watch party for the Mexico team, and it was, I mean, there was probably 5,000 to 10,000 fans outside of Power and Light that couldn't even get in. I go the next day for the U.S. game, same thing. You cannot argue against the passion that Kansas City has for soccer.
So I think another turning point, or at least a vehicle to drive this sport forward, it's going to be the men's national team. You obviously played for the men's national team. I'm curious to think, what are your feelings, the emotions that have gone through your head over these first couple of games with the U.S.? Is it something that you expected?
Yeah, so the closer I got to the tournament and seeing the group come together, obviously I don't have the privilege of being in the locker room. That's kind of a sacred space for those guys. But just hearing some of the stories and the guys talk, you could tell that they were really gelling together at the correct moment. So the closer we got to the tournament, the more excited and the more just the thought that we could go make a really, really deep run at it. And then you look at the first two games that we've played, and the first game against Paraguay was unbelievable. They came out just flying on all cylinders. Player from player 1 to 15 or 16, whoever got in that match, played an amazing game. And I think you saw the American fan be like, oh, we've got expectations. I will say these first two games are games that we probably should win, though. You know, on paper, we should win those games, but that's easier said than done. We went out and did the business, so put ourselves in an incredible spot going into the round of 32 to play a third-place team. Very, very much expecting us to win that game. Round of 16 is when you start seeing the competition ramp up as well, but I think home field advantage is going to do wonders for this group. They feel the country on their backs in a good way. So I say round of 8 is where U.S. is going to get for sure.
I'm going to tell you a funny story. I was actually telling Ale this year, Ale Bedoya. Yeah. My first ever interview at a World Cup, the very first time my voice was on air during a World Cup, it was for my dad's radio company in 2014 in Brazil, USA versus Ghana. I was in the tunnel ready to do my flash interview. I was 18 years old at the time, 19 years old, and I was scared. Oh, it's not going to be a good result. I don't know what to ask him. And then you hit the cross. John Brooks gets the header, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get to ask a player with the feeling of having won. And I interviewed Ale in Spanish, one of the few Spanish speakers on the team. What does it feel to participate in a World Cup? We were at the U.S. Soccer House in L.A. the other day, and we saw all the names of the players that have gone to a World Cup for the U.S. men's national team. Putting it into perspective, it's not that many names.
Yeah. That's kind of wild to hear. I'd love to see that one day as well. But no, it's like the biggest honor you could have for your country and the highest level of the sport. So it's this really amazing moment where you finally get to that tournament, because there's been so much work to go into it. And you're in your host city, and and then it just kind of it just flies by. It's a bit of a blur, but you know you're on cloud nine the whole time, and you're seeing the friends and family. My brother and Ale's brothers really hit it off. They were like the guys to really get the pickup games going. They were playing beach soccer in between. So
what a place to have a World Cup on top of that, right?
Incredible spot to do it as well. So yeah, it's like you've got this moment of as a player, you've got the blinders on. You're so focused on the task at hand, but then you're trying to soak it in as well. And like you said, we're in Brazil, the mecca of soccer, and just trying to enjoy that aspect as well.
All right. Well, it's an honor and a privilege to play in the country. It's an honor and a privilege, Graham, to talk to you. Guys, we've got some Kansas City barbecue looking at us straight in our faces.
Come on, take a bite over there. The stories were beautiful, but we wanted to see you try. Chris Whittingham right here is drooling over the
Marco,
food. The burnt ends look
I'm going to show you something though. But the burnt ends do look unreal. I'm going to bring something close to the camera, or if the camera wants to come closer here. This is burnt end. They only do this here at Char Bar on Thursdays. It's burnt end pastrami.
Oh my! It's very nice. Too much talking. Start eating.
I had some already.
I had some.
Nico, how are you staying in shape with all this food?
This is all you.
What are you doing to stay in shape?
This is all you.
I just gotta try the pastrami first.
What? Aaron, you don't even want to know, bro. You should have seen my 6K on Strava the other day.
There we go. Take a bite.
Yeah, bro.
That looks incredible. Wow.
Oh, I'm so hungry.
Now we're jealous.
I am so hungry right now.
Yeah.
Guys, and mind you, it's 10:30 a.m. over here.
It's a little bit late for barbecue. I get it.
Ridiculous, no? The pastrami burnt end is crazy. So,
Never heard of that.
this is Kansas City barbecue. Talking to a KC soccer legend over here, having some legendary barbecue. Can't ask for more.
Nico,
maybe a pickle.
Nico, how's it compare? You went to Houston, KC, and Argentine barbecue. Which is the best?
Oh, wow.
Obviously, to me, Marco, Argentine barbecue is #1. But funny enough, my Argentine side of the family, my cousin is dating a Kansas Cityite. He is so proud of his city, of his barbecue, of his food. A very cultured, very worldly kid, friend of mine, Riley Ewing, shout out Riley. And we really put his loyalty to Kansas City barbecue to the test because Argentine barbecue is very good, but they're neck and neck. It's like choosing Ronaldo and Messi. Yeah. Who's your favorite? Like, you can't go wrong. There's obviously one right answer, but, respect for both.
Nico, what do you have going on for the rest of the day? Are you guys trying out more foods, or are you going to get a workout in after eating all that barbecue?
I need a nap after that meal that's in front of us looking at it.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, you know what? I think I'm going to have to nap on the way to Miami because after the match today between Tunisia and the Netherlands, we're headed to Miami for the Colombia-Portugal game on Saturday. So we're going to have a lot of time on the road. I guess we'll talk to you guys from the RV over the next couple of days, but I'm expecting to see the Orange March, right? All of these Dutch fans,
man.
Graham.
So jealous.
Have you been seeing the buildup of the Dutch fans here in KC?
I have. The closer it gets to the match, the more orange I see around the city. And I'm with you. I'm going to head straight from here, try to catch the march and just be a part of that energy. I've seen social media, but in person it's got to be a different level.
Yeah, I imagine. That's the beauty of the World Cup, guys. It's just all of these cultures coming together in a foreign space that perhaps you would have never imagined. Kansas City is going to be decked out in orange today, and we are so pumped to see it.
Love it. Nico, we also got a comment saying that you need to try North Carolina barbecue, so maybe on your way up from Miami when you go up. That's right. North Carolina right here. So when you make your way up the East Coast, you'll make a stop there.
Yes.
Bye,
All right,
Nico.
guys, thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break here. Much more Morning Footy 48 Nations coverage coming up for you on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here. Now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the point of here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
This is Morning Footy, and this segment is powered by SofaScore. We're asking the question, can Spain really finish third in their Group H?
Yeah,
I mean, it's possible.
It's in the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, but we'll talk about exactly how possible it is. Now, of course, it is worth setting up that the final games of this group are Spain against Uruguay and then Cabo Verde against Saudi Arabia. The current position in the table would suggest that if Uruguay beats Spain and Cabo Verde beat Saudi Arabia, that Spain would finish in third and go into really throw up the entire draw. Now, Spain obviously performing very well in their second match against Saudi Arabia, but what do you make in the overall of this group, Aaron?
I have not been impressed with Uruguay. I expected much more from them coming into this tournament with the quality of players that they have, with the history they have, with how they came into the tournament. I've been incredibly impressed with Cabo Verde, the fans, the surprises that they brought us, the performances so far. The Spanish team has been a mixed bag, which I really expected based on the injuries. But when you bring in the big guns, when you see Lamine Yamal from the start and how he performed against Saudi Arabia, this is the team that you can see going really, really far, and you see why because of their quality. But overall, it's been a really, really interesting mixed bag. I've been so impressed by Cabo Verde, though.
But when you look specifically at this final match day in Guadalajara, that'll be a great game and a great atmosphere between Uruguay and Spain. There's been significant disappointment from the Uruguayans about their performances in their first two games. They'll feel it should have been 6 points. They instead only have 2. What chances do you give Uruguay of pulling off an upset in this game?
I actually do give them a pretty significant chance because I think Spain, having secured their passage to the next round, will rotate. They've got plenty of players who have had a lot of minutes this domestic season. Players like a Nico Williams, Lamine Yamal, who are coming off injuries, who are going to need to probably sit and play fewer minutes, and the motivation isn't as high to go all out and push themselves against Uruguay. And on the other side, Uruguay need the win, so I do give them a pretty good chance of beating the Spanish side. Spain are a better side, even with rotation, but I think the motivation from Uruguay gives them the shot to really win today.
So we asked the question at the beginning, can Spain really finish in third? Let's talk about the actual percentage chance of that happening, courtesy of our friends at SofaScore. On that bottom right there, it says 4.8%, which would require them to lose to Uruguay and for Cabo Verde to beat Saudi Arabia. It is incredible, given the expectations you might have had for Cabo Verde coming in. That seems to be the more likely result, is Cabo Verde beating Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and it does 4.8% seems like such a low probability for this result. It's a result that I feel like has a very strong chance. 4.8 seems crazy to me. I would have put it, if I was the one making up the percentages, right around 45, something like that. I believe Cabo Verde will beat Saudi Arabia. I think the belief that they have in this team, the quality they've shown so far, I haven't been impressed with Saudi Arabia, and I think Uruguay have what it takes, like I mentioned, to beat the Spanish side. So it's going to be a really, really interesting battle with both of them.
So we look at their recent run of results. There are a lot of draws here on the board. Now, by the way, the draw is actually kind of a fun possibility. If they draw and Uruguay and Cabo Verde and Saudi Arabia draw, then Uruguay might finish second, which would set them up for a round of 32 matchup against Argentina, which would be absolutely incredible. But in terms of what we're talking about with Uruguay and their sort of lack of form, that hammering they took against the United States, the disappointment that they've had going forward, do you think the fact that they're playing in a different game, where they're not asked to make the game as the protagonist, but rather reacting to what Spain do, could that change the dynamic for them maybe in this final game?
I think that lends itself better to how they want to play and how they want to approach the match. I think Uruguay always function better as an underdog. They have that battling mentality. They want to fight. They want to be backed into a corner and punch their way out. It's very Bielsa-esque. But I do think today in a match against the Spanish side, I think they match up well with how they want to counterattack. And again, this will be a rotated Spanish side. This will not be the full first 11. So they have a really, really good opportunity today to go ahead and secure good position in this group.
Yeah, this is our matrix of outcomes.
This is so confusing to me.
And it's really crazy that the most likely outcome that they have is this game finishing 1-1.
Yeah.
1-1 right there. So if it's 1-1, then we're sort of into that drawing scenario. Now, Uruguay are in a vulnerable position. If they do draw this game, they would only be on 3 points. If Cabo Verde win their game, then they would be Uruguay potentially in third. Even if Saudi won the game, it would be Uruguay in third. So there is that risk for them of potentially not advancing at all, which would be a fairly disastrous outcome for them. Which do you think is the most likely score that you would give for the Spain-Uruguay match?
It would be the one
so
Uruguay.
Spain is going horizontal and
1-0.
1-0 to Uruguay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a very, very narrow one. I don't think that if Uruguay win, there will be a ton of goals in it. I don't think there will be a ton of goals in this one, period. I don't really see a real push for Spain to go all out, to really risk anything, risk injury, risk any sort of ill advantage going into the next round, and Uruguay have, again, everything to play for. So I don't think they'll score a ton of goals today, but I think they'll get a narrow win, a 1-0 win against the Spanish team.
Now moving to the other game in the group between Cabo Verde and Saudi Arabia, here is the range of outcomes for them. Now this is for Cabo Verde to finish second in the group. All they really have to do is win, and for Spain to get a win. Then there is, of course, if they draw, they would have to be a score draw where they get more goals in the game, because let's say Uruguay also draw, then it comes down to goals scored as the primary tiebreaker. Cabo Verde can win by 3 or less, and Uruguay also draw, and then Cabo Verde win and Uruguay beating Spain by a higher margin. So there are a range of results. Cabo Verde to finish second in the group.
Who would have predicted this coming into this tournament?
Absolutely
not a single
no one.
person, and if you say you did, you're lying.
You're lying. You're lying. Everyone had Spain, Uruguay in some order, and then Cabo Verde and Saudi in some order. Maybe Cabo Verde to finish third, but 100%. Second would be absolutely crazy.
Out of the realm of possibilities for anyone before this.
Yeah, absolutely mad for Cabo Verde, what they've achieved, obviously getting the point against Spain, but then following it up with a point against Uruguay. So these are the lowest population countries into the knockout round of the World Cup. Of course, Uruguay is a country that has always outperformed. Sometimes population can be a bit of a red herring when it comes to analyzing football, but Uruguay, one of the first real footballing powers in the 1920s, won the Olympics, then of course win the first ever World Cup, which they hosted. And then Northern Ireland, of course, getting to the knockout round is currently the smallest, but Cabo Verde approximately only 500.
The Brooklyn neighborhood right there. A Brooklyn neighborhood could make it to the knockout rounds.
It's like one high-rise in New York City, making it all the way. Crazy, absolutely crazy.
Incredible.
Well, you guys to get involved in the YouTube comment section, and some of you already have. Long live Brazil, and long live the people of Cabo Verde.
Love that.
Well done. And again, it's just amazing for them. The way that they responded in that Uruguay game, the way that they scored goals, the way that they punished the Uruguay errors in that game, they competed genuinely with one of the traditional South American powers.
Yeah, and they have just stomped all over the idea that teams shouldn't. Cabo Verde obviously earned it, but the expansion of this World Cup, the results that we've seen across the board have just stomped all over that notion that these teams don't belong here, except for Czech.
Check Get out of here. Okay, so let's go through the SofaScore predictions. They ran 100,000 simulations of the World Cup before this thing began, and they're running simulations and everything now. Spain to finish top of the group at 87.5%, which still does leave that range of outcomes for Spain to finish second, 7.7%. But you look at the most likely outcomes for all of them. Cabo Verde to finish second, most likely at 55%. For Uruguay, most likely to finish third at 70%. I will say, though, me personally, I'm rooting for the second scenario. It's very narrow. Argentina against Uruguay in Miami.
Fireworks.
Oh my God, would be amazing. Would be amazing. And then we can kind of cover the range of opponents as well for some of these teams. So for Spain, they of course would face a third place team, most likely to be Austria in the round of 32. Could also be Algeria. And then moving forward would be that runner-up, I believe, in the Portugal-Colombia group. Right now, it could potentially be Portugal. And then if they finish as second, you'd face Argentina in the round of 32. Are you kidding?
Absolutely.
Are you kidding?
Absurd.
We're losing one of those two teams in the round of 32. Would be absolutely crazy. If the scenario that you mentioned plays out, that's an all-time early knockout round game.
Round of 32. All-time.
And remember, the top 4 teams in the World Cup were intentionally drawn into separate quadrants of the bracket.
So
if they won their group. If they don't win their group, then all of a sudden we see it in the round of 32.
There's everything in the chaos.
Yeah, and then if they finish third, if you're Mexico watching today, let's not have this happen, please.
Look away.
No, please, for the love of God, can we avoid Spain in the next round? But Spain, obviously, this is the drama.
Can you imagine after such an incredible group stage if Mexico didn't have to go and play Spain?
Oh, my God. At the Azteca. It would be a movie. It would be a great game.
Man.
But get involved in the comment section. Tell us what you think of this group and if Spain could potentially fall all the way down. Much more Morning Footy is on the way, though. Stay with us.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here. Now.
Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money. What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back into Morning Footy. Time for our over-under segment, World Cup edition. And we do have John Buckets, I'm our CBS sports betting analyst, who's going to be joining in as well. So let's get to it. Why are you Marco's cheesing? You're cheesing a little bit.
I was going to say a joke, but it's all right. I want to see if he changed shirts yet.
What's the over-under on Buckets?
Wardrobe changes over the course of a minute and a half. I'll set the line.
I'm going to go with the over on that. I want to hit the over.
The over-under, 23.5 goals for Messi's World Cup career. He would need 6 more goals this tournament. So
6 more this tournament.
Where are you guys at? What do you think? Over-under. Aaron, I'm going to put you up to
He
it
needs
first.
6 more this tournament.
We need 6 more this tournament.
I'm going to go under.
Under?
Because Messi is not a goal seeker. If the team needs goals, they will bring goals, but he was a winner. I don't think he's going to stat pad. I don't think he will hit the over. I think it'll be just under.
All right, sitting at 18 right now. What are you going with, Whitty? Over, under?
I think it'll depend on how Argentina approach their final group game against Jordan. You'd have to imagine. One of the things
he's going to want to play.
Well, one of the things that most stood out to me about the reaction from him after the game, he did a couple of interviews, and he said in both of them, I'm tired. That was a lot. I did a lot of running in that game. That was hard. So I would imagine he'll get rested in that game.
He says that after the game, though.
Yes,
when
that is true.
That
That is true.
He's going to want to be on the pitch.
He'll play 90 minutes. What are you going with? I'm going to say over. Just
after all that?
Yeah.
You're taking us left, and then you went right.
You know why? Because I think they're making at least a semifinal. Their path is quite nice.
Yeah.
Their path is quite nice. I think they're making at least a semifinal. I'm going to say
I can respect that, yeah.
Marco?
I'm going to go under as well. Same with Aaron. I don't think he's going to play in another World Cup. I know that could also be factored into this. I just don't see it. I think they will go far, but scoring another 6 after having 5, it seems like too much for me.
All right, well, Buckets, what are you thinking? Where's Buckets? Is he around?
Full suit. Buckets. He always has something. I love Buckets.
The first tie that we've seen, and I must say, it's a pretty.
You look great,
It's a pretty haggard tie, if I'm being honest.
That's incredible.
You look great, man. Don't listen to Whitty. You look great.
It's the only tie I own, and it took me like 20 minutes to find it, and I had to Google how to tie it. So bear with. We're not here for my ties or my fashion. I hope not, at least.
That's the footage that we need, is him trying to tie that tie. All right, so third outfit change for Whitty. I don't know what you guys had with the over-under there, but Buckets, what are you doing? Over-under for Messi here, 23.5 goals in his World Cup career, currently at 18.
I'm going to take the cop-out answer. If he starts against Jordan, I'm going over. If he doesn't start against Jordan, I'm going under. I agree with you guys. I think if he does play against Jordan for 90 minutes, he might pick up another hat trick, and then it's a different conversation. But I got to see what he's doing in that game first.
Over or under that Buckets has the pants on, too? Can you stand up?
There's zero chance he has
we got to stay.
There's no chance.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
He's not even messing around.
Next question. Next question.
He's like,
Next question. What's the next one?
He's like, I'm not
Let's move on.
at all right now.
Well, unfortunately, Buckets, I'll come to you this one first for this one. So over under 29.5 goals for Mbappe's World Cup career. He would need 14 more goals over this World Cup, and who knows how many more he'd be a part of.
You need 2. Yeah.
At least
this World Cup and probably a minimum of 3 more after this. I'm going with the over on this one. I know 29.5 is a big number, but the team just feeds him the ball every single time, no matter what. We saw it with that first Dembele assist. They like getting him the ball. I've got him at least doing 3 more World Cups, so I'll go the over.
Love that.
Yeah.
Marco, what are you going with?
I agree with Buckets as well. I see him getting 3 more World Cups. That would take him to 39 if my math is correct. And Mbappé shows up at World Cups. This is what we were talking about before the World Cup. He is the guy. He's got a chip on his shoulder. The entire sample size since he was 18 years old proved that at a World Cup he gets his most. So I agree with Buckets. I'm going the over.
I'm going to take the under, and I'm going to do so because I do think of any nation in the world, if there is a country capable of producing a player that can replace Kylian Mbappé, it's France. So I think he'll probably be the starter for this one. He'll probably be the starter for next one. But by the time we get to 34, is it possible that they have found another high-level center forward that can play that position? I think it's pretty high.
You don't think he could do it in the next 2?
You mean this one and the next one? No. I think that's too high of a number. I mean, look, he is on his way to breaking what was the previous record. He makes scoring World Cup goals seem easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy, especially, I mean, France, they can play Germany in the last 16. I'm not saying they're going to lose, but that'll be a difficult game. There are more difficult games.
There's going to be 64 teams soon. Don't worry. He's going to be able to back it up.
I'm smashing the over on that one.
Okay.
I think he plays at least 2 more World Cups. He's going to continue scoring goals this World Cup. I'm going to go over for sure.
Love that. All right. Well, we have so much more over-under to keep doing, but we do need to take a quick break, so we'll continue doing that. Buckets, you're the best. Thank you. We're going to take a quick break here. Much more. Morning Footy, 48 Nations coming up.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. They're not like us. We need to get out of here now.
Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad would want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money. What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back into Morning Footy. So here's Lamine Yamal's brother. Definitely the family is a footy family, not a golf family here. This is what I look like.
Here's the best part. Wait for it. And then he's like, no, I'm going to get it.
Oh, no.
No way.
That's terrifying. What are you guys doing?
How can you post it?
Oh my gosh.
What?
Is this what you look like, Aaron, when you're at the golf course?
It's not. It's not. But I'd probably be a lot of fun to hang out with if I looked like this on the golf course.
Can't be good at everything.
And then the trip right here when he just rushes it.
And then gets right back up. Oh, I love that. All right, so yesterday was Lionel Messi's birthday, and today is another legend's birthday, Charlie Day.
The real GOAT.
40 years old today, the real GOAT. Happy birthday,
Hey. Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I lost it at the end. Lost it at the end there.
He lost his aura. The handshake at the end lost his aura. Is he frozen?
Charlie's too funny.
Oh, my God.
There are the dad moves right there.
Listen, if there's anyone who throws the show more off course than Marco Messina, it is Charlie Davis. The two of you always sabotage. We run late. We can't get to commercials.
Says the one who couldn't start the show this morning.
My favorite thing is the Charlie scream right before you go on air. Just wakes everybody up right about a half a second before we go on air. You get a real scream from Charlie Davies.
And it's always the second or third time he does it. When we're doing hair and makeup in the back, he comes and makes sure that you're awake. But Charlie, happy birthday. We hope you enjoy your day. Enjoy your day.
Absolutely.
All right, well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. But make sure you stay tuned here on the Golazo Network. Much more 48 Nations coverage coming up for you on the other side.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?